Let me just talk a little bit about what is going on with the EPA and what is happening. You know, I talked very harshly about that. This is a huge, huge issue. Let me just play for you what President Obama, then Senator Obama, said in January 2008. Listen to this.
You know, and climate change is a great example. You know, when I was asked earlier about the issue of coal, you know, under my plan of a cap and trade system, electricity rates would necessarily skyrocket. Even, you know, regardless of what I say about whether coal is good or bad, because I'm capping greenhouse gases, coal-powered plants, you know, natural gas, you name whatever the plants were, whatever the industry was, they would have to retrofit their operations. That will cost money. They will pass that money on to consumers.
So when your electric bill goes up, which it's going to, just keep this in mind. It's not like he didn't tell us. That was from January 2008. As a matter of fact, there's not a whole lot he didn't warn us about. There wasn't a whole lot that many, myself included, were sounding out the warning as well. Now, Gina McCarthy, she's the EPA administrator. Listen to what she said yesterday.
I know people are wondering, can we cut pollution while keeping our energy affordable and reliable? Sure we can. We can and we will. Critics claim that your energy bills will skyrocket. Well, they're wrong. Should I say that again? They're wrong. Thank you. Any small short-term change in electricity prices would be within normal fluctuations the power sector has already dealt with for years. This is an investment in better health and in a better future for our kids.
A better future for our kids if we can afford to have kids due to the fact that our electric bills are going to go through the roof. And that is coming from Gina McCarthy, another economically inept administrator in Washington, D.C., falling right in line. So she says the critics say bills are going to go up. Well, I guess one of the critics would be President Obama. I'm not sure what changed his tune, if he has changed his tune, about that. Nothing's changed anybody's tune. They frankly just don't care. We could keep our doctors. We were going to have a $2,400 family deduction or a reduction in cost for our health care, and our electric bills aren't going to go up as a result of putting the coal industry out of business and now starting to regulate fracking. As I said yesterday, this isn't even an issue with me. Now, everybody, I got a number of emails and I got comments yesterday when I was on another program last night talking about why I'm not talking about jobs. Because my goal with all of this is to stay away from the mainstream media and the conservative media talking points of this is going to create more loss of jobs. I agree with the premise 100%. It is going to hurt the economy by way of loss of jobs. There is no doubt about it. I understand that. But I don't want to miss the forest because we get so hung up on one tree. So I am not going to do that to my listeners, because the bigger deal here is if we can get some of our legislators to wake up and see if they can take even a glimpse at the unintended consequences that are going to be very likely through the cap and trade bill being handed off to the EPA. And one of those unintended consequences for us, not for them, I think it's very intended, is a power grab and social control to the likes of which we've never seen. If you think that Obamacare is a power grab and social control, this doesn't even compare, because this is far bigger than even Obamacare. And that's what I'm going to keep my focus on. And that's why I talked yesterday about water and what is happening through the EPA now permitting farmers to use their own water for their cattle and for their irrigation. They have to be permitted. Another social control. Now, farmers now have to get a permit for the specific time they're going to use this irrigation or to feed their cattle. Now, we're talking about the government, a bureaucracy, as if they are going to need a permit for tomorrow's crops, and the EPA is going to turn the permit around overnight. It's not going to happen. This is going to be a nightmare for farmers and ranchers. This is now in the hands of the EPA. Doesn't matter where the water, it doesn't matter if it's from 6 generations of wells on their property. That is irrelevant. The EPA is going to control it. What does that mean? It means the EPA is going to control our food supply. Does anybody care? Nobody that I know of in Washington, since I haven't heard anybody talk about it. They probably don't even realize it. But everybody's going to gravitate. The conservatives are going to beat this job things to death, getting nowhere on that front. Nowhere. I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm just saying, at some point in time, you've got to pick and choose the horse you choose to ride in the race. And again, the GOP has a long-standing history of picking the nag. And they will likely do it again. While we're getting so hung up on fighting a battle on jobs, the government is going to be snatching up and grabbing up more power and more social control. But that's what happens in Washington. If there are legislators and GOP strategists, which I know there are, that listen to this program, could you just step a little bit outside the bubble that you live under and try to take a look at the unintended consequence of what is happening in America, what's happening through the EPA?